Test drive the latest music from Cars and Trucks live in the studio. We've got street smart theater and dancers who play with fire.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
We've got a great show for you tonight, starting with fresh music from Duluth's premier rockers. Please welcome Cars and Trucks.
Could the choir please rise? Rock and roll is complicated. Rock and roll is complicated. You know it's true, don't you?
That's Cars and Trucks debuting new music from their third release, upcoming soon in stores near you. Now there's more music and drama still ahead, including a fiery performance by the Spin Collective. The dancers combine traditional choreography with driving drum beats and flaming instruments for dramatic effect.
When you light something on fire, people are going to watch it. If I was dancing without fire, people would be like, oh, that's nice. But with fire, it becomes amazing. I practiced a year before I really lit up. And then I would just do really, really simple things. Just, oh my gosh, I'm on fire. Oh my gosh, I'm on fire. And just getting used to having something on fire spinning around your body.
Tonight, well, we've got rehearsal. We're going to be rehearsing for our next big show.
So right now we're working with a group of drummers down here on Leif Erikson. They're coming down every Tuesday, and we're coming down every Tuesday. We formed as a group 4 or 5 years ago. I got a busker's permit, and I called up my friends. I said, come down and busk with me. And we had such a great time. We said, let's do this all the time. So we named ourselves the Spin Collective.
I was already hula hooping, so I got into the fire hooping side of it. And it's quite a rush.
My name's Jamie Hudson, and I'm here at Big Top Chautauqua to perform with the Spin Collective.
I'm really excited. It's my first performance with them, and I haven't really done it in front of a big crowd, so it'll be interesting. Yeah!
This will be a real intimate crowd because people can be close to where we are, and the fire that I dance with is really close to my body, so I can get closer to people than the other dancers can with my fire.
When I do my solo stuff, it's just kind of more of a modern dance kind of thing. But when we're working together, we usually do fan dances. That's the spikes with the fire on the ends. And that we tend to do more of a belly dancing.
Choreography is a lot of fun for us. This isn't a job, this is what we do for fun and our passion.
I'm a ham. And I think a lot of us are. I think being a performer, it's just a really fun medium to perform in. It's something that really grabs people's attention and attracts people.
And that smile on your face being real because you're just enjoying, you're passionate about what you do.
The Spin Collective performs all around the region, and they'll be part of the All Souls Night celebration in Duluth, November 1st. Now, the cutthroat world of real estate is wickedly dark in the hands of playwright David Mamet. An all-female cast of Mamet's Glengarry Glen Ross layers on another twist. Director Lawrence Lee is here, as well as actor Priscilla McRoberts.
Yes.
Thank you both for taking time away from rehearsal.
Thank you.
So first of all, tell me about this play, Glengarry Glen Ross. Kind of what's it about?
Well, it's about these salesmen who are just put in this pressure cooker, and they are just all pushed to the very, very limits. And it's kind of this dog-eat-dog world, set in the 1980s, early 1980s, and it's what happens to people when they're forced to turn on each other.
And pitted against each other to some degree.
Yes.
And is it set in a particular location?
Chicago, 1983 Chicago.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about the language. It's pretty gritty.
The language is raw. Priscilla says one particular word 87 times.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a word you can't say on television, so we won't say it. So it's
But come see the show.
Yeah, come see the show.
You'll hear it a lot.
You'll hear it a lot.
Yeah.
So it is an all-women cast.
Yeah.
And it was originally written, I think, with men in mind.
It's all men.
Yeah.
So
It's written for all men.
what is it like to turn that on its head?
Well, it's really exciting, actually. It's something that back in the maybe 20 years ago, this is a 30-year-old show. It was written in 1982. And maybe 20 years ago, I was living in Boston and saw a production of Glengarry Glen Ross and loved it and thought, what if it were women saying those things to each other? What if it were women speaking this sort of misogynistic language, and what would that mean, and what would that sound like, and what would that feel like? And so I've been thinking about it for a really long time, and no one ever wanted to do it. I don't know why. No one ever wanted to do it until the forward-thinking, people at the Playhouse with the WIT Women in Theater series listened to me and thought, oh, what the heck, why not? And so we get the opportunity to do it here in Duluth, which is pretty remarkable. Because it's not something that's been done maybe once somewhere sometime. So it doesn't happen a lot.
No.
And the goal of Women in Theater is to get more roles for women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And varied roles.
Right.
Roles, non-traditional roles for women.
Correct. And this could not be more non-traditional.
Yeah,
really.
absolutely.
So what was it like to cast it? Were you involved in the casting?
Yeah, I was
You
involved.
did all the casting.
Kay Horvath and I did all the casting. And I was very excited by the talent pool in Duluth, Minnesota is amazing. It's deep and it's wide, and we got in so many really qualified people who came to auditions. Kate and I toyed with the idea for about 30 seconds of double casting it, but we decided we did not want that heartache because it just so many very talented people came out to audition. And so when you come, you're going to see just spectacular actresses here in Duluth.
But they step into these traditional male roles.
Yes.
They aren't, the mother superior role or, the mother of anybody in this show.
There are mothers.
There are mothers.
There are mothers.
Yeah,
and we're playing as women. We're not, obviously cross-dressing and becoming men. We are acting as women.
But we don't change a word in the script. Which could be confusing for the audience. That's my only real concern. It's like, will the audience get this? But we are not changing a word of the script. So Dave Moss is Dave Moss, even though it's played by Tammy Ostrander. And played Ricky Roma and Shelley Levine. And we don't change any of the pronouns. But I think it either is going to be very jarring for people, or it'll just slip into the background and people won't notice it after a while.
You also mentioned that there's humor.
That
you don't want to just say it's dark without mentioning
but it's funny. Oh my gosh. And one of the things I love about the show is how unintentionally funny it becomes when you have women saying these lines. Because all of a sudden lines that were background lines all of a sudden move to the foreground because they kind of draw attention to themselves. And I like that play. It kind of rotates the script just this way and go, oh, look, there's a different side to this. That's really interesting.
And women saying these things about women.
Yes, to their faces.
To other women that men don't even say to women. They say them to other men.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how it kind of all plays together.
Was it hard to push each other to embrace these lines and make them real?
It's challenging, I will tell you. It's challenging to speak some of these things, and especially where we can be awfully mean to each other, because again, it's this cutthroat kind of like life and death kind of situations happening for these people, and so it can be really challenging to look someone in the eye and say some really nasty things to them, but that's what theater is. It's about finding that place and being able to live it, I guess.
And that was one of the questions since my last one. They're wrapping me up, but it's a challenging play.
It is.
And why should we embrace theater that takes us out of our seats and makes us a little uncomfortable?
Yeah, I want the audience leaving with questions. I want them to say, why did they do that? What was that about? What did that mean to you? Was it jarring when they said that? If so, why? I want questions. I want, people to be really thinking about this, but also to have a good evening, because I think people will leave having a fun time.
And I think it was, and not to sound all theatery, but I think it was Brecht who said that theater isn't, something. It doesn't hold a mirror up. It actually smashes the mirror, and I think that's what a project like this does. And we are really fortunate in Duluth to have forward-thinking theater producers who are willing to take on projects like this.
Yes. And actors and directors who are willing to step up. So thank you both.
Thank you.
I say break a leg.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, Glengarry Glen Ross opens Thursday, October 25th at the Playground and runs 2 full weekends. And we'll be back with more music after a brief backstage tour of Andy Bennett's Ghost Light, Illusion is King at the Zenith Theater.
And of all of the secrets that I have learned, one truth stands tall amongst them all. Magic is real.
It's about a theater at the height of vaudeville called the Zenith Theater, and it's playing host to a magician who's just returned from 3 years of being out of the public eye. Nobody knows where he's been, and he returns with a brand new illusion that he claims isn't even magic.
I defy death!
The play is certainly a little edgier than the average Shakespeare play, so I think he thought we'd be a good fit for each other. My name's Phillips, and I'm an illusionist.
I thought I was here to transform you from a pathetic carnival barker into the next Alexander Pantages. I thought...
We wanted to not only have the opening illusion of the actual magician be something spectacular, but we had a lot of ideas for ways we could make the space feel haunted, and a lot of that needed illusion work. And so we used a lot of the knowledge and sleight of hand and misdirection and all that to sort of pull off some of our effects.
Is it cursed?
I'm Andy Bennett, and I'm the writer and lighting designer.
It cost me my life savings, and it just may cost me my life.
The show's called Ghost Light. It's October 11th through the 27th. All shows are at 8 p.m., Thursday through Saturday at the Teatro Zaccone.
There are links to dozens of arts calendars on our website. Just click on theplaylistonline.org and explore. For the latest updates, like us on Facebook and follow along on Twitter. Now, our gallery tonight features the work of a trio of artists. Terry Milliken layers colorful influences in her acrylic paintings. There's a handmade paper vessel from Sharon Meyer Postens, and Rob Glibbery's beautiful wood-turned forms. Now, these artists have more work up at Lizard's Art Gallery in Duluth. And now, please welcome back Cars and Trucks.
I should have been a millionaire by now, rolling in dough. I should be sitting in a mansion, living off of rock and roll. Instead, I'm stuck in this apartment, out of famous reach, living off a handout, eating microwave quiche. Lucky me.
Well, welcome to the playlist, and thanks for bringing the choir.
Oh, it worked.
Yeah,
It worked.
yeah.
Don't they have beautiful voices?
Yes, you have great friends and good voices with good fist pumping.
Hope you don't mind me drinking tea.
Please do. I know you are working on that cold, but will you introduce your bandmates for me?
This is Matt Milinkovich and Matt Osterland.
Fantastic.
And good men.
Good men. You've been playing together for?
Ever.
forever.
Pretty
I've been playing with
awesome.
Matt since 1997, right?
Yeah.
With you since 05. Those guys played together when they were in high school.
So tell me a little bit about the new music. What's your inspiration? What's the backstory on this one?
This is it's an album that we're hopefully gonna be sending off to press very soon. It's just kind of an album about it's music about music. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It'll make sense when people hear it, but it's kind of dedicated to everyone who puts their heart and soul into making art, and maybe they don't get to be immortal because of it, but it's about doffing your cap to people who dedicate themselves to creating beauty.
Some of the people you've been working with at Sacred Heart Recording, Eric Swanson is one, Jake Larson is another,
Yep.
are very dedicated.
Absolutely.
And why Sacred Heart as a recording studio? What does that add?
We just never recorded there. We had recorded one song for a Dylan tribute album, and it felt good, and so Jake wanted to do it there, and so we went for it, and we got a lot of good natural reverb, and you know, it's probably the best thing we've recorded, hopefully. So yeah.
And this is your third
Jake
album.
did a great job. This is our third album, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Now it got made, obviously because you wrote the music, but also because you did an amazing Kickstarter campaign. Tell me a little bit about that crazy process.
We went back and forth on that for a while, and we said, no one's going to give us any money. And we ended up finally saying, you know what, let's just pull the trigger on it. And we did a Kickstarter, and we got more than we asked for. And the whole thing was funded in like 2 days. And we're sorry to everyone if you've been waiting for this album. It's coming. But people gave us support just based on what we've done in the past, which felt great. So hopefully everyone will be satisfied with our new hip hop album.
I don't think they'll be disappointed. They just have to be a little patient.
All right.
I don't know, coming up for gigs you have coming up?
We've been kind of not playing a whole lot of gigs, just kind of trying to finish our album, and then we'll come out and play more. But we do have one towards the end of November at RT Quinlan's, like the 24th or something like that. So, yeah.
So it's great to see you around town, and it's great to see you here. Thank you for taking the time and debuting new music.
Thank you
That's
so much.
cool.
We appreciate it very much.
We're excited.
All
Okay,
right.
you got one more song for
Yeah,
us?
one more song.
Okay. Make sure you put some good things on your weekend playlist. Get out and support live art and live music. And thanks for watching tonight. Tony, Cars and Trucks.
Everything I say has been said better by somebody else. Everything I do has been done better by anyone who's ever tried. Memory